Welcome back to another reading. Today, folks, I am using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, and I have laid your cards out in a traditional Celtic cross formation. The central theme of this particular spread is the Knight of Swords. This is someone who rushes around without thinking just too terribly long on anything in particular. This is air on air energy. There is no groundedness. There is no thought to any emotions for what the individual may be feeling or what anyone else may be feeling. There's also a potential for a lack of doing because this is all air on air energy. This is someone who talks a whole lot, who overthinks a whole lot too, but this isn't someone who necessarily does anything. It's possible that this person is not practiced in doing things, and it's possible that this person is growing into their mind, growing into their intelligence with this particular card, because this is about knights. This is about exploring our intelligence. But this is someone who's rushing around a whole lot when that isn't necessary. Now, the challenge with this particular card, or the challenging card, I should say, is the Hermit. It's ironic that this is a challenge for you, whomever I'm speaking to, who is thinking a whole lot, possibly planning a whole lot, talks a whole lot, but maybe doesn't take action on anything in particular just yet anyway. With this particular, we'll talk about the Wands energy that I get here in just a second, but I don't get the feeling that you, who I'm speaking to, is someone who's known for getting out there and doing much stuff. Please don't take this the wrong way. I do see you, though, as someone who is willing to study. But the question is, what are you studying that's taking you into the future? You sure are working hard on whatever this is. And you need to be cautious about this because it might isolate you going into the future. This could have to do with your political ideology, for instance. There might be a couple of rabbit holes that you find yourself falling into, and they may be the wrong knowledge wormholes, if you will, for you to explore. They may take you down a path of extremism, whatever that may be, whether that has to do with political aspects or whether it has to do with personal aspects, how we interact with each other as people. There may be some things that you study with a great deal of zealotry, but they take you down the wrong path. And this is something that I see potentially being a challenge going well into the future, because the Hermit is pointing towards the future with his feet in the past. There's something here in the past that has caused you a great deal of damage. This suggests to me possibly loss of trust in the universe or loss of belief in a particular deity. You need to take this as it resonates. But where you are currently right now as a person who's mentally and speaking as if they're rushing around constantly, also being in a very deep state of study at the same time. You're an intense person. This is coming out of a state of woundedness, a lack of healing. There is a lack of getting in touch with the aspect of yourself that is emotional, that is intuitive. You see that as a sign of weakness. And this is in your conscious position. You see love, compassion, and romance as pussy shit, basically. You see that as shit for weak people, for women, for girls, and you're not like them. That's in your conscious mindset. At the same time, you're going to use any tools that you have. There's a potential that you might use any tools that you have to do some real damage in a romantic relationship, whether you realize it or not. With this being in the conscious position, you're perfectly aware that you're not interested in romantic relationships, and that if it suits you, you're willing to possibly use emotions to benefit you. This is what I was talking about earlier with this Wands energy. This is the only Wands card in this particular spread, and it's the slow down card, and possibly to the point that you are halted. What I was saying earlier about talking a lot, thinking a lot, planning a lot, studying, researching, going down rabbit holes and that kind of thing, but not doing anything. This is what's going on here. Subconsciously, you're not aware that you're not doing anything. You're just in the process of kicking up a lot of dust. All due respect, okay? You're talking, you're thinking, you're researching, but you're not practicing. You're not doing anything. This is the card that's the opposite of speed. With it up in the upright position, it would be all about moving quickly. This is the opposite. You're not doing anything. You are halted. In your future, I see you as someone who quite possibly becomes blinded because of lies and myths, that mistruths, even if you want to call it that, lies, I personally prefer, but Spirit gave me the word mistruths. You may believe certain things that aren't true at all, and they keep you keep yourself from seeing the reality of a situation because you've believed the lies that other people have fed you now, or will have fed you by the time the future happens. The people will have fed you for quite some time. I see you as someone who may be consuming that quite a bit right now, those lies quite a bit right now about whomever it may be, any particular group in particular that you might seriously dislike. There are people who are going to feed your hate, and it's going to blind you to some nuance in a particular situation. It's going to blind you to some truths that you need to know. Your advice is to balance things out with your body. For instance, take this as it resonates, and I'm just going to say it. Spirit is saying touch grass. Come back into balance with yourself, with your body specifically. This is going out and doing stuff with your body, with your material being. This isn't just about finances. You don't have to spend any money at all in order to bring your body back into balance. Your body is part of what makes your material existence on this earth comfortable. So this is about bringing your body back into balance. You might not be into exercise at all, but this card is definitely suggesting that you could find some benefit from getting out there and getting some exercise, okay? At the very least, walking around, looking at stuff. This card is also tied to playfulness. You have lost your playfulness edge. I wouldn't call that playful an edge at all, but there's something in this wounded state that has caused you to forget what it's like to be a playful person. And again, you might be the kind of person to just dismiss that as pussy shit. But this is actually your advice, is to get out there and be playful, do something new that has nothing to do with the internet. Air, what you've got with that Knight of Swords and with that Eight of Swords, air is absolutely connected to the internet. If you can get out there and take a breath of fresh air, do something new, get into your playful aspect, you can potentially start to let go of the lies and the myths that you've started to consume. And then you won't have to walk away from some things that you've placed some serious emotional investment in, or you will be easier to do this. Now, here's what just popped into my mind with this Eight of Cups. I've got quite a bit of 8 energy in this particular reading that is tied to the Strength card. That is about you being a strong person. With all this 8 energy in reverse, this is an opportunity for you to grow into a stronger person. And I'm wondering if you'll make that choice to do so. It would be a great act of strength for you to walk away from something permanently that you've put a lot of love, time, and energy and effort into over years. And this would be about your ideology, specifically about whatever group that you seriously dislike, that you've got issues with. If you can come into a playful aspect and start working on letting go of the myths, the lies that you've consumed, you can walk away from this, but that doesn't mean that it won't be hard. You've put a lot of time and energy into whatever you have coming up in the future, whatever you're working on right now, whatever you're working on believing in right now. You're going to have to let that go in the future. You can. You don't have to. But you're going to be given that opportunity to in the future. And I hope that you take it, because you are isolating yourself for no good reason here with the Hermit card. Sometimes Spirit asks us to come into a time of spiritual hermitage where we just study and work with Spirit, with our ancestors. This isn't that case at all. You're working, you are studying, you are researching people who will do great damage if enough people study and research what they have to say about how we treat other people, about how our political systems work. Be cautious of this dangerous path that you're going down. I understand that you quite possibly mean well, but you're also acting out of a wounded place. You're not willing to take a leap of faith. You're wanting to hurt others as you've been hurt, quite possibly. You want to do new things that you know will hurt other people. A revenge journey, if you will, to let people know how much you've been hurt. These are your current circumstances. You're in a potentially dangerous time right now. A powder keg kind of time. You're afraid of building yourself into someone who is committed, who makes gradual progress, who focuses on the things that make you materially comfortable. That's not just to do with finances, although it can have something to do with finances. This is also about taking care of our bodies. The only time that you had pentacles in this particular spread was when you were being asked to bring things back into balance. I don't see you as someone who's willing to work on the things that make you materially comfortable for whatever reason. You feel like that's just not something you need to focus on. And it could be because you feel like everything's going to go to shit. So why bother? Why bother taking care of yourself when the end of the world is tomorrow? It doesn't have to be this way. The end of the world is not here. Not yet, anyway. Not for a very long time. It won't be in your lifetime. Spirit knows who they're speaking to. I don't know how old you are. You're meant to bring yourself into balance. You're afraid of doing the slow, careful, hard work that it takes to understanding people of all kinds, of races, religions, creeds, sexual orientations, gender identities, income levels. It doesn't matter. You're afraid of other people who are different from you, and it keeps you divided from people who might have some genuinely neat things to teach you. It doesn't have to be like this. You don't always have to be working from a place of fear and woundedness. You can grow out of this. Please seek therapy. Please don't do damage to others. Please don't do damage to yourself. You need to take this as a sign to leave this particular path and do something different, something constructive. Spiritually constructive would be ideal. No more from me. Thank you for watching to this point if you did, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.